Nice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pace Studios here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We are joined today with a fellow New Yorker, which is actually kind of rare for us, surprisingly. This is Peebles. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, pleasure.
And we're ready to hear some new music from you. You have a new single that just came out last month, I believe. It was in October. Mm-hmm. And there are 2 songs on that single. And that follows an EP that came out a little bit earlier, actually a lot earlier this year, back in February. So a lot of new music to hear. So why don't we start off with music, and then we'll talk. I'll talk about the records and your music and stuff. Tell me a little bit about the first song you're going to do for us today.
This song is called Bella. It's actually was released in part with that single you were just talking about last month, and I really just wanted to do sort of an old school release, put out a single, and just have a B-side, something a little different to kind of complement it. So this one is a song we did acoustic. We did it live in one take, ran it through tape. We wanted it to just be kind of like a guy with a guitar sort of thing. And so I am obviously a guy with a guitar.
You fit the part perfectly.
Yeah, I'm set up to do that pretty well right now. Yeah.
Lover, I wonder where you are. I can't see the stars from the boulevard, no. Lover, if I could see the sky, would I find your face in the blue and gray? Oh, I try to live in the past where the good things last, and I can drown in the days made of golden rays, sleep through the years made of lead, laced with bitter beer. But still I wonder where you are. Bella, I pray you'll think of me, that you'll hear my key as they open the door. Maybe you'll wake and blink at me with the warm malaise that has been erased. Oh, I tie myself to the mast when the sirens pass, and I can plow through the day made of broken slate, sleep through the years made of whiskey that burns like tears. But still I wonder where you are. Lover, I wonder where you are. Always I wonder where you are.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
So that is the so-called B-side of
Yeah.
the new record that you just put out. It's called Airways.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are I guess a country Americana would be the catch-all category. I think
Something like that.
Something like that. And you are a New Yorker born and raised, born in Manhattan. These records are mostly made in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And so, I wanted to ask you to give me sort of like a, and our readers as well, sort of an entryway into that community out in Brooklyn. We have a lot of folks who play, sort of a country folk style of music, and they are flocking to Nashville and Asheville and Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. Is that on your radar, or is Brooklyn a place where this music can flourish?
I like to think so. I've actually never been to Nashville, Asheville, or any of the Villes. I have been to Austin, but all I did was eat meat when I was there. I like to think so. I mean, it's funny. I think that if you put an alt in front of country, the box gets real big, and you can kind of put anything you want in there.
Yeah.
I always sort of grew up identifying as like an indie music guy. I was a teenager in Manhattan when like the Strokes were God, and so that was sort of what I listened to and identified with. But the stuff that I kind of privately enjoyed was much more. I always just called them sad songs, but it turned out that they were kind of country songs, right? And the whole kind of troubadour thing started to make more and more sense to me, especially as I learned guitar and started to write music. So I'd be happy to hang out in Nashville or wherever I can play. But I think this is also just my home, and I'm just kind of making the music that makes sense to me based on sort of what I like to listen to. So I tend to let other people take care of the labels, and I just try and write. But I think the cool thing is, and also sometimes the frustrating thing is, as a songwriter, I feel like whatever you're listening to and really getting into comes out in what you write. Mm-hmm. So if I'm listening to, indie music half the time, but then sort of leaning hard into like songwriter or country music, then that stuff's kind of leak in. So don't necessarily even have a choice. But it's fun because it means I can sort of write just what I want to write, and if it's got some twang to it and it has a certain inflection, that's fun. I welcome that, coming from New York, it's almost fun to try and write country songs. And
that's sort of what I was thinking, is that, New York is obviously a city that is welcoming to artists of every stripe. You don't have to sort of adhere to a certain style or sound. And, if you're from here, you should have every opportunity to be a country singer in Brooklyn. Sure. So I'm glad that that's the plan. We need more of it. So when you were just, I'm curious about like how you got started. When you were growing up in the city and, the garage rock thing was exploding, and maybe you were, at home listening to things that your friends weren't listening to. What were some of those things?
I think the big one was Neil Young live at Massey Hall 71. That one was just, not only were the songs great, but the fact that he just got up there, with his guitar and could just play to this room and go through all that different kind of music. And that, to me, sort of intuitively, I was like, that's something I want to try and do. And then, really, I played solo for, 7 or 8 years just with an acoustic guitar, singing, doing that kind of thing, before I sort of linked up with a band and started expanding the sound a little bit. But that was a big one for me. I had a really big the band phase, real big. A lot of friends teased me for that. I think I tried to wear like one of those full brim hats.
Oh, sort of like the round brim hats.
Didn't really fly. But and then that kind of just led me down the path of looking at these songwriters and more and more, as much as I still loved listening to rock music and sort of like New York, stereotypical New York music, I was still into that stuff too, and that was the stuff that was coming out of my guitar more when I played my guitar. So I just kind of let it happen. Not all too intentionally, I don't think.
Yeah, cool. So you're gonna do a couple more for us, and I'm not actually sure where all these songs stem from. So tell me a little bit about the second song and where we can find it.
Yeah, this song is actually brand new. Wrote it very recently. Played it for nobody ever.
A world premiere.
So it's a world premiere debut. It's called Burial Plans. It's the there are a couple of different kinds of songs, I think, like that I've experienced writing. Some of them you sit, you work on. It takes days, weeks. You sort of chip away at them, and you get to a certain place, which is important. You need to be able to do that. And then you get like gift songs, which just come into your brain, and you write them, and it's done in 15, 20 minutes, and it just kind of lands and makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you return a gift, right, for store credit or whatever. It's not good enough. But this one just kind of, I've been listening to it, I've been playing it, and I've really been enjoying playing it. So probably a lot of people that I work with are like, what are you doing? But I felt like playing this one. And it's simple. It's just kind of a ballad about, well, I don't want to say about death, right, because that doesn't necessarily pull the people in. But I think...
I think you'd be surprised. It's a popular subject.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning of time.
Yeah. Happens to everyone, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
I think it happens to everyone. There may be exceptions. I'm not sure.
This one was just kind of me trying to imagine what my funeral would be like. I don't want to be buried, for the record, but I took some poetic license in this case.
All right.
When I die, I hope you'll get the news real soon and travel miles to make the funeral by noon, and that you'll love me like you loved me once again. In my tomb, I'll keep some cigarettes for you, and a light, the one you gave to me that night when you loved me and you said I'd be alright. I never lied to you unless you asked me to. I didn't hide a thing from you. You know that it's the truth. I never cried in front of you until you caused me to. When I die, I hope you play a song for me. Take some time just to smell the dirt and think of when you love me. Will you love me once again?
When you love me, and will you love me once again?
Thank you, man. That is a great song.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I'm curious. That's a brand new song, and you write songs not one at a time, but I guess actually probably is one at a time.
It's easier that way.
It is easier that way. Yeah. I don't know if anyone could do it more than one at a time. That would be quite a skill. But I guess what I was referring to was your release, the way that you release your music. There was an EP earlier this year called Ghosts, 4 songs on it. And then you just released this double-sided single called Airways with Bella on the other side, and that was last month. And so I'm curious, like in this day and age, like where, streaming is more and more prevalent and singles are more and more prevalent, is there less pressure on a young artist like yourself to try to write 10 songs, compile them together, and put out an album? Is it easier? Is it more conducive to your art to just write songs and release them, write songs and release them? Is that the better way to go about it?
It certainly could be. I mean, I think there is less pressure to sort of put out a 12, 13, 14 song cohesive kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's something I'm really interested in doing, and it's things that I'm working on. I have those kinds of ideas being mapped out. But, a lot of people talk about how the album is dead and that kind of thing, right? People are on Spotify and just go on one to the next, and the algorithms take care of it for you.
Yeah.
So there is, I think, less of a pressure necessarily to have something out that is a 10 to 12 song thing.
Yeah.
But I also think that, one of the reasons I want to do this sort of single B-side thing was I was, looking through my records and have all these 45s, and to me that was always awesome. I loved those because you'd have the single, and that was always going to be sort of the chart song, right? The song that they wanted to kind of put out there and get them up there. And then there was like the B-side, and the B-side to me was always special because it always seemed to be, something that would complement the single, but would also be maybe something that wouldn't get released otherwise.
Yeah.
So that is sort of the approach that I wanted to take, and I think doing that is fun. You can sort of look at the songs you've got and see how they all kind of sit together, and obviously that is the same case for a full album, but to take like sort of a bright, jangly song like Airways and then just do like a acoustic one take kind of situation, I think it's fun, and I think that honestly, if there's anything people want, it's more content at all times.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
So putting out music, being able to put out music, and be like, hey, here's some stuff to chew on, to listen to, and think about, while maybe I map out an album that's sort of conceptually unified and has 13, 14 songs, right?
Right. Do these songs that you have been putting out over the course of the year, do they factor into an album down the road, or do you sort of leave these behind and let them live the way that you release them, and then work on something that is kind of like all of a piece and all together?
Yeah, I kind of think that certainly the songs I've put out now, I'm happy with them as they are and being sort of out in the world. And the EP was sort of 4 songs that I thought sat nicely together. Also, 4 older songs, Ghosts, which I'm about to play, I wrote when I was 19, and that was a song that was sort of one that I never got sick of. So
yeah.
I've been writing since I was 13 or 14, but I got sick of most of those songs, realized the ways in which they were,
Does that happen more often now? Are you writing more songs that you don't get sick of as you go along? Or is it sort of stay even?
Yeah, certainly there are things that don't necessarily make it off the cutting room floor. But, I think Ghosts was maybe one of the first songs where I was like, this is a song that I really feel very, very strongly about and speaks to me more than it speaks to the people I listen to and the influences, right? I mean, I think you start out and you're sort of inherently a little derivative. You know, you're looking at things, you're trying to figure out just like how to do them and
Yeah.
how to write songs like that. And then hopefully over time you get better, right? And if you do, you're able to figure out how you figure into that more. So I have more of a connection to the songs that I write as I get older, because I think that I think about them more and I'm able to like put more of myself into them.
Right, and here you are still playing them years later. And,
Yeah,
and
and
wanting
Ghosts,
to.
Ghosts is kind of definitely the oldest song I've got that I still play. And there was a lot of music when I sat down to figure out, when I knew I was going to do an EP, I sat down to figure out like what the single would be, because you know, songs like Airways, they were already written, all these different songs were already sort of in existence, but that one seemed to me to be like, before I start getting all this kind of new stuff out there, I want to like start with sort of maybe the song that for me got me into writing the way that I'm writing now.
Yeah, cool.
So-
Well, that's a perfect setup for the last song we're
look
going to
at
do
that.
today. No more questions required.
When I was younger, I looked like my father, danced like my mother. I sang the night away, sang the night away. When I was bolder, I loved like my sister. I spun like a twister. I dreamed until the day, dreamed until the day. Goes, where do they go? Goes, where do they I was a lover, was red as October. The autumn is over, I'll slowly turn to gray, slowly turn to gray. Now I'm just another, I swim like a boulder, I break and I smolder, I la 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 la, I la 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 la. Goes, where do they go?
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thanks.
So that was 3 songs spread out over the course of many years, actually, going
Many
back to
years.
just about the beginning.
Yeah, one from about a week and a half ago.
Right.
One from my college dorm days, and and then something in the middle.
Something in the middle.
Yeah.
So everybody, this is Hayes Peebles, and there is an EP that you can pick up. It's called Ghosts. Came out in February, and there is a new 2-sided single. It's called Airways. The B-side is called Bella, which we heard today. All this music is available, I know, on your Bandcamp page, the Hayes Peebles Bandcamp. I'm sure it can also be found on Facebook and
Facebook, Spotify,
all
iTunes,
the various channels that we all know and love.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. And of course, you can also buy a physical copy somewhere, I'm sure.
I've got little cards I hand out to people. So if you manage to find me in the street, I'm happy to give one.
And we're here in New York, so Hayes is here on the streets, ready to be found.
Yeah, you can find me looking grumpy on the subway.
Yeah, that's right. He's the grumpy-looking guy on the subway. You know, he's
The only one.
He's easily recognizable.
one.
Everyone else is chipper and alert. Yeah, that's the new music. I was looking at. I know there's a date in December at Mercury Lounge that you're playing. I'm not sure. Is that the next thing coming up for you?
That is the next thing. I'm going to be at Mercury Lounge December 15th, which
December
I believe
15th.
is Friday night. It'll be the last show of 2017. And we're going to try some new stuff. I say new stuff knowing that most of it's new anyways, but we got a few songs that we're going to put into the set list that we're really excited about. So it'll be full band, you know.
Yeah.
I play from time to time like this. This is how I started, but I've got a great band behind me, and we're going to be together for that one. So it should be a lot of fun. Friday night.
Sounds good. Close out the year with Hayes at Mercury Lounge. And pick up Ghosts, and also the new record is, the new single is called Airways. So Hayes, man, thank you so much for coming to
thanks for
Paste
having me.
and
It's a
playing in our
pleasure.
studio today.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it sounded great. And please come back and play for us again anytime, all right?
Anytime, man.
All right,
Cheers.
cool.